Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just the habit. Politics, politics, it doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. VP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, adjust the habit.
Let me say good evening and thanks for joining me. My name is Damian Phillips and I am here to do it again for you. This is where I'm at every Monday night. So for those of you logging on, tuning in, let me say big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Setting up my TikTok channel and also just waiting on some of my people to forward in. But we're live anyways on Vibes Corner Radio. That's where I'm at every Monday night. We're also live on my YouTube channel. And that's DP Live. You can go check me out there. A lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about tonight. A lot to talk about tonight. So it's clear that the PMP is still in their campaign mode. Um, if you listen to the presentation from what is supposed to be their leader, or let me say it right, who is supposed to be their leader, sound like they're still campaigning. I don't know if you guys would share my views on that, but that is how it sounds. Also, I realize that you cannot, as Chuck keep on saying, big up yourself, Chuck. You cannot tell fly that honey is better than what the fly is used to. You're actually wasting your time. I was on a live, Chuck's live to be exact, Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, and a lady came up, sounding like an older woman. Hey, Katabi, thanks for joining. And she stated that Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, copied Mark Golden's speech. And in the same sentence, the woman, no, Chuck asked her if she had listened to the speech, and she said yes. And she also said that it was rubbish. So Tyrone Reed from Nationwide have this saying that two things can be true at the same time. I'm not refuting that, but normally in certain circumstances, no. How can you be saying that the Prime Minister copied, hey Simone, long time, the Prime Minister copied the leader of the opposition speech and then turn around and say the Prime Minister's speech is rubbish? Also heard PMP activists on a live last night on TikTok, on a live show. Every time I say on a live, it sounds like I'm saying unaliving. On a live show, stating that 70% of the speech is 70% of the Prime Minister's speech is from the leader of the opposition. However, the same people them saying, I was listening to a show Saturday morning, and let me tell you guys, you have been saved because I heard a PMP called a PMP show stating that the NWC water that the Prime Minister alluded to have sewage in it. These people will stop at nothing. Anyways, as the Prime Minister say, and I brought my waters. Oh, this is it now gonna show the buckle green, but it's the Mountain Valley spring water. And I see that, yeah. So I'm using a green screen so you can see the VCR in the background. So, but the bottle is green, so it actually filtered out. But yeah, TikTok can see more of the green than. So why I brought my water, as the Prime Minister say, we have a leader of the opposition, as gone to Tyrone Reed. He is the Prime Minister in waiting. I can't believe I live to hear what is supposed to be a responsible journalist utter such rubbish. A leader of the opposition is just that, the leader of the opposition. There is no such term or title as Prime Minister in waiting. If you ask me, the only person who could probably say is the Prime Minister in waiting is the Deputy Prime Minister. Just like how we had the Speaker of the House And the deputy speaker of the House then was the speaker of the House currently, and PMP had no problem with that. So you could say Gillette Holness was instead of saying the deputy, saying the speaker of the House in waiting. Right? And we saw what happened. Speaker took away herself, and the deputy became the speaker. So I'm saying all of that. He's going to wait for a very long time. I'm saying all of that to say, Tyrone, I'm disappointed in you to be repeating PMP rhetoric talking about Mark Golding is the prime minister in waiting. Yeah, rubbish. Not no go so. And I believe with my whole heart that we will never see Mark Golding, just like how I felt it in my core that Dr. Peter David Phillips would have never become a prime minister. We saw that. Peter Bunted wanted to become prime minister, and we saw what Rhoda Moore Crawford did to that dream. PMP is telling me that Peter Bunting has no more interest in becoming a prime minister or the leader of the party because of his age. Tyrone Edlick sometime. I am convinced. I'm glad you said that because I'm going to go to some clips to show same. But I find myself have to be questioning Tyrone from the other day. But there is somebody that I don't think we give the respect due, which let me make sure I say this. I know some people are going to say even Fame Edlick sometime too. But I think he gets it right more often than not. So let's listen to the veteran journalist Cliff Hughes compare the two leaders that we have right now. And the reason why I'm going to play it because he actually sums up my point of views. So let's
has been blessed. When I watched and listened to Prime Minister Holness, yes, I came away with a few things. One, Jamaica has been blessed with having Andrew Michael Holness at the helm at this time in its history, because he is demonstrating a command of the complexity and difficulty of public policy making.
Yes.
In a very difficult and extraordinarily bad time globally. In addition to the fact that he has been Prime Minister with the occurrence of two major devastating experiences, the pandemic,
Yes.
and the Category 5 Melissa hurricane. Yes? Two major issues. And if you go back in time, try and tell me which Prime Minister before him would have had to be dealing with two such major national impacts that really virtually gutted the political economy. And what he did last Thursday, he set out a clear strategy
Yes.
to rebuild and recover. Yes, that was very clear. A focus,
Yes.
yeah, on building back smarter, more resilient, yeah. And you know what he did very well?
Yes. Listening.
he did not descend into a political gutter with the opposition leader.
And the time that he used.
Exactly. He delivered some political blows, but in a way that you could not accuse him, yeah, of really wallowing in the gutter. Yeah, he had to respond to some of the attacks against him made by the opposition leader. But he did not allow that to define the essence of his presentation. When I watched and listened to Prime Minister Holness, yes, I came away with a few things. One, Jamaica has been blessed.
All right, so that's the thing. Yep. So that's some of the things I've been saying, and like I said, Cliff sums it up. So I'm seeing I'm not the only one that thinks the way that is thinking the way I'm thinking. Other people are of the same. So let's listen to. I think this is a discourse with Tyrone that irks me wicked. I hear it and I'm like, what am I listening to? So let's jump to it. This is it. Let's go.
After all,
The voice there of the opposition leader, Mark Goling, taking to task the Prime Minister for accepting that salary increase. In May 2023, Dr. Holness declined to accept the adjusted compensation package following fierce public backlash against.
I did not do that. Was there a pause in my recording? So that clip, I think there was a pause in the recording.
The Prime Minister, OPM, last month revealed that Dr. Holness had begun accepting the full salary of $28.5 million. OPM noted that the decision to accept the full salary was taken last year after the new administration was in place. But it says, the implementation was delayed due to the impact of Hurricane Melissa. Parliament was subsequently advised to effect the change retroactive to September 2025. Golding described the move as deceptive.
that is the latest chop. That is a real Bogart move. It was a shameful deception, not worthy of the high office that you hold.
And of course, those commentaries, that point there from Mark Goling stirred up quite a bit in the House, exchanges in the House. Mr. Goling went on to describe the government's budget plan for the upcoming fiscal year as a toxic cocktail. According to him, Jamaicans face a triple threat of problems that are not being addressed by the Holness administration, he says.
The combination of the post-Melissa hardship, the Middle East war, and the government's tax package is a toxic cocktail. Toxic. It will be bitter medicine to the Jamaican people. And Prime Minister, you need to tell the people when you speak on Thursday what your plans are for protecting the society from the impact of this Middle East war, especially those who are still struggling to get their lives back together after Melissa. That's what the people want to hear from you.
The voice there of Mark Goling, the opposition leader. For reactions, more reactions, we are turning to political commentator Dr. Nadine Spence. And of course, we also have with us to give us a youth perspective on the presentation by Mark Goling. We're being joined by undergraduate student of political science and economics, yes, at Vassar College, Ronaldinho McLean, who we may be commenting on in a few years. Top of the afternoon to you, Dr. Spence, and of course, Sir Ronaldinho. Welcome to Nationwide at 5.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Good evening.
Let's begin with you, Nadine Spence. Did the opposition leader score any political points
Yes, in his presentation, his contribution rather to the budget debate.
I think that part of his presentation where he detailed what is happening to Jamaicans, particularly those impacted by Hurricane Melissa. I think the personalization of that, the speaking to those issues in such an emotive way, I think they would have connected with a lot of people, because a lot of people are still going through the aftermath and the realities that, particularly in Western Jamaica, the realities that the post-Hurricane Melissa presents them with. And a lot of people still don't know how they're going to navigate their way through it. So I think those parts of the presentation where he details how people are feeling, and perhaps, you know, the kind of the people feeling desperate now, I think that part of it was connected. I think the parts of it that sounded like campaigning and the, you know, restating of the same post-election points, such as the one that you spoke to before, this one. I think perhaps there were some people who were thinking to themselves, are we going back to the same kind of antagonistic kind of narrative that existed before the election? And then I think for most of it, it was what we are used to hearing from the PNP. A lot of possible actions to take, but I don't think much analysis as to how we're going to afford it, especially since he had mentioned the post-Hurricane Melissa and the current war realities.
Yeah. Ronaldina McLean, let me bring you in before we have to go to the break. Your initial reaction to Mark Golding's contribution to the budget debate. Did you see him scoring any political points there?
I think he scored several political points in what was hold on, I'm hearing feedback. I don't know if...
Well, you're coming through clearly to us. We'll try and see if we can sort it out in the break.
Okay. I'll talk slightly away from my phone. I think he scored lots of political points in what was a star performance, in my view.
Oh, you think it to be a star performance?
Resonated with different sections of the society at different points in his speech. So opening on what Dr. Spence might call some of the same antagonistic issues we saw in the campaign, such as the issues of the Prime Minister's integrity, connect with the base. But then he also spoke to the discourse that's been on social media recently, those having to do with the situation between the governments of Jamaica and Cuba, and the Prime Minister, of course, accepting his salary increase, that the Prime Minister during the election season made much ado to say that he didn't accept the increase while Mark Golding did. So if the Prime Minister could use it as a tool, as a weapon then surely Mark Golding can use it as a weapon too, now that the Prime Minister has accepted the increase. I think he also, in referencing the situation in the Middle East and the effect it will have on oil prices, as well as the devastation that the hurricane caused, what he called the toxic cocktail of hardship that the Jamaican people will have to face, resonated with lots of people who right now want a government that will kind of hear their cries, understand the struggle of the tenuous environment that we're living in. And then he not just did that, but then he provided lots of, I feel, innovative solutions to some of these crises and hardships that both the government and the people of Jamaica are facing. And we can talk more about the solutions that he presented, but I think that it made for what was a solutions-oriented presentation and not just a lot of complaining. So even though some of them were the same kind of promises that were being made by the PNP in their manifesto last September, they were framed in such a way that they very aptly fit some of the kind of unique challenges that Melissa and the war in the Middle East are creating, some of the new challenges, at least Mark Goling did. He framed them as to say, this is what you should be doing anyways to address some of these challenges that are coming up now.
All right. You heard there from Ronaldina McLean. He says the opposition leader gave a star performance. We're going to seek to drill down a bit more into Mark Goling's contribution to the budget debate with increase to the political class. And people were not pleased with it. People were really up in arms, Dr. Spence. And the Prime Minister fell on his own sword by not accepting the salary increase that he and his finance minister would have perhaps presided over. And of course, the opposition leader said, I'm going to accept it, but I'm going to give some to charity. The salaries being paid to both of them are not very far from each other. I think one is about 25.7 and the other is about 28.6. So this finger pointing about who's getting big salaries, both of them are getting big salaries.
Yeah, and the truth of it is we've had a number of explanations as to how this was conducted, how so even when you said just now that they presided over, in a very loose kind of way, because one of the things that we don't want people to leave this conversation being convinced of is that the Minister of Finance and the Prime Minister were sitting down at a table and setting their salaries. We don't run that kind of a country, and that regardless of who is in power, I think we ought to make people become very aware that this is not the process of deciding on the salaries of public sector workers. And I think that the conversation, as it continues to unfold in the public space, doesn't endear people to the truth of the situation.
So who ultimately granted the increase to the political class?
Was there a long process, Tyrone, of engaging independent bodies? You're in the news.
No, but I'm saying, but who ultimately approves the increase? Ultimately, who does the buck stop with?
If we know what happens in the public sector, it happens out of the Ministry of Finance. They are the ministry that
right. So it would. And when
if it is $1, it's
yes.
the truth.
And when the parliamentarians were trying to get the increase, they were trying to lobby the finance minister in parliament, and he's saying to them, "Look, no, let us take care of other people first, and then we look at the salaries for the politicians after."
I don't want to be defended. I don't want it to sound as if I'm defending a particular thing, other than that there's a process that is in train in the public sector for the granting of increases to public sector workers. And I think, and if you're telling me that I'm wrong, then I will go back and research. I think that it is this process that was enacted upon this increase as well. And so I don't think anything.
So you're saying the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister shouldn't take any accountability for the salary increases granted to the politicians?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about a process.
Right, but I'm asking you ultimately who is responsible, because it sounded as if you were saying people were taking shots at the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister when it wasn't them.
That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that there is a process by which public sector workers, including members of government and the Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance, get an increase.
Right.
So what you said was they were presiding over a process whereby they were determining their own increase. And I'm saying in a loose kind of way. That is not necessarily how it plays out.
No, that's not what I was saying, actually. When I said they presided over it, ultimately the buck stops with the Finance Minister and the Prime Minister in signing off on this thing.
Right.
Isn't that the way it works?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's the point I was making.
Right.
Just to be clear, that's the point I was making, right? But both of them are making, they've received massive increases. So this finger pointing as to who is benefiting, I'm questioning if in the minds of any well-thinking Jamaican, Ronaldini McLean, that any well-thinking Jamaican is thinking that either of them is scoring any great political points from this, because both of them are receiving massive salaries.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think that I'm sorry, I'm still hearing the echo. But I don't think that the biggest critique from Mark Goling yesterday was that the Prime Minister was making a big salary. I think his critique was that the Prime Minister was deceiving the public when he first made it known that he wouldn't be accepting the increase out of what the Prime Minister called solidarity with the people in the public sector. And in fact, he campaigned on that in the debate last September. He went toe-to-toe with Mark Golding and said, you, Mark Golding, accepted your salary and I did not. And so that's more Mark Golding's critique, that
So,
the Prime
and you
Minister
find that-
probably
and you think
did
that's
what
fair
was a
ground?
politically convenient thing by rejecting the salary at first, and then as soon as the election was over, accepting it.
Ronald Leader McLean, you don't buy the argument that he's been given a new mandate, and so it's okay for him to now accept the salary, because I gather that's the argument that's being put forward. You're saying you don't buy that argument.
Well, that would be a change of view on the point of the Prime Minister. Remember, it is the Prime Minister who said that he was standing in solidarity with the workers who didn't get that sizable increase. So you'd now be changing your argument to say that you can fall out of line with that solidarity because you have a new mandate from the people.
So the Prime Minister must now answer whether or not he's still standing in solidarity with the people. I see where that's where you're going with this. How do you view that, Nadine Spence? Do you agree with that? The Prime Minister says he was standing in solidarity with the people, but now he's accepting the salary. Is there no more standing in solidarity? Is that a fair question for the Prime Minister?
It's a fair question. I thought it was a fair. I thought the way the opposition leader engaged that conversation after, because Ronaldina is right. The Prime Minister did make a point of saying, I didn't accept the increase. You accepted it. So it's an apt moment, I think, for Mark Golding to throw it back at him and say, okay, now it's your turn. I think it's a fair continuation of the fight, But it is what it is. My own argument with it is having loosely been involved in the public sector and being and navigating that process of the increases that came about. That story is just one part of it. And for me, in terms of having conversations that are true and reflective of our democratic process outside of saying the Minister of Finance, the Prime Minister, and the leader of the opposition, that people need to understand how salaries are arrived at in the public sector so that we can have a fulsome discussion about the process that led to what happened here. That is my own,
and it's a conversation. It's a conversation that would be worthwhile having. But ultimately, we and what we need to be clear on that the government of the day has the final say, because if the Finance Minister and the Prime Minister, the cabinet, doesn't sign off on this kind of increase that was given to the politicians, it would not happen. And so ultimately, they must respond to the angst that the public feel in relation to what was a massive quantum in terms of an increase to the political class. It was. Salaries jumped significantly for the politicians. And it would, history will record that it happened under the Holness administration.
There were some other people for whom it jumped massively, not just them. Not just the politicians. Remember permanent secretaries as well.
Because of it being tied to the salaries of the cabinet minister, that is tied to the.
Yeah,
right. No, I get that, but there are questions to be answered, because people can. The cynic would say they gave the permanent secretaries that massive increase or signed off on it because they wanted to give themselves a massive increase. The cynic will say that, but you are absolutely right about the educational side of things, so people can have a better understanding of how people arrive at that. But let me ask you this, another political question before we have to close, to both of you, beginning with you, Dr. Spence. 2027 might see Dr. Mark Golding, facing some kind of challenge. I think Damien Crawford has fired some salvos that he may very well be looking to take over the reins of the party in the near future. Did Mark Golding do enough here to stave off any such challenge?
Yeah, I think he did. I think you didn't find a Mark Golding that was lacking in confidence or that was unsure about what the PNP was about to do or how they were positioning themselves in relation to the government. I think his presentation was pretty clear that the PNP intended to be a robust opposition and that they were not going. In fact, at the beginning of his presentation, when he spoke about the fact that the PNP comes to this parliamentary year in a better position than they were the last time, tells you that they're telling the government we're flexing our muscles even more than we flexed them in the last parliament.
A shot in the arm by doubling the number of seats
Yeah,
they have in the.
I think he confidently stated where the PNP intended to put their foot in the parliament this year.
I'm almost out of time, but I'd love to hear you on that, Ronaldinho McLean. Do you think he's done enough to stave off any challenge to his leadership in the near future?
I'll tell you what. His presentation yesterday reminded me of some of the budget speeches that Andrew Holness would have given as opposition leader when the PNP was in power last time around. Rhetorically effective, strong, both in the prepared remarks and also in how he responded impromptu to the heckling on the other side. I think that it may not stave off the competition, but what it will do is renew a sense of confidence in his leadership if he does choose to continue from many of the MPs he has in the House. And that's just because I think that he showed a sense of courage, the kind of stylistic strength that I think he also showed in his debate against Andrew Holness in September, but also because he was trying to sell the country on a kind of vision for the future, a vision that the Prime Minister will need to respond to on Thursday, maybe present a vision of his own.
Ronaldinho McLean, thank you so much. Dr. Nadine Spence. I apologize for those who said that I was torturing you. So I captioned this live, PNP is dead. But the youth, Ronaldinho McLean, he sees positive, he sees hope. I see somebody commented and say, if on my YouTube channel, for those of you watching or listening, so I'm live every Monday night from 9 o'clock on Vibes Corner Radio out of Connecticut. It's an online radio. So you guys can go and, get the app or just click on your device if you just want to hear some good juggling. There are other programming. I just happen to be the only one that talks politics on there. So that's Vibes Corner Radio. I'm live on my YouTube channel. I'm still asking and beseeching and begging people to subscribe to the channel. I'm sure that those of you watching are not all subscribers. It will help. You won't be paying me anything to subscribe there. And April 30th will be my birthday, and I'm trying to get to 3,000. I'm just at 1,958 the last time I checked. So can you grant me a favor, please, and subscribe to the channel? You're watching somewhere down there, so it says subscribe, and you can hit the notification bar. So when I go live, you get that. I'm also live on my TikTok channel, so you can go and follow me there. Somebody on TikTok said I should play Andrew Holness' speech, read that salary thing. Send a request, come up in the box. If you have a second device, can play it. I will allow you to do so. But I'm watching the comment here on my YouTube channel. And for those of you watching on TikTok, if you want to see the YouTube comments, please find another device and look for DP live on YouTube, and you'll be able to see what I'm playing on my screen if I play a video, and also the comments that are just overlaying over my video here. Katabi, I have a question that I've been asking. Which charity did Mark donate to? I'm curious. I'm also wondering how much money was donated to whichever charity it was. There was a Sheldon on a live today. I think he was on Carl Lewis's live, and he spoke, first time hearing him, but he was very eloquent, and the way enunciate and all of that, I liked it. And he was saying, I think some of these people, they're suffering from this, the inferior complex. Mark is benefiting from something that the rest of them talk about. I still believe that there are black people who think that if you are of other shade, you're better than them. So I'm sure if Dr. Andrew Holness has said that, listen, I'm going to give my increase to a charity, Tyrone Reed, amongst others, would be digging and pressuring and saying, come on, which charity, where them name, Umachiagi, all of that. People just accept it and run with it. No pun intended. But that reminds me of somebody from the PNP, right? No question asked. We have seen even, and I won't let it go, even with the Melissa relief I took it to somebody on TikTok the other day and I asked him, he was a PNP, and I say, sir, is it right that the PNP started a website requesting donations for the recovery of Melissa? And up to date, November, December, January, February, March, 5 months now, and we cannot hear how much money have been collected and if that money has been spent. The last press conference that I heard anything about it, Miss Fallsbody stated that the PNP will every year they have they basically open their books, they have the financial report, and I'm like, no, if I decide that I'm going to do something for Boundbrook Primary that I went to my primary school, and I'm begging money on TikTok and YouTube for a project, I cannot consider that as my money. But he wasn't young, but the caller or the other person told me that, listen, as a PMP, when I donated to the website, I knew I was not giving to Melissa Recovery, I was giving to the PNP. So the PMP can do whatever they want to do with it. Listen to that. The man blatantly say, him no say when him did donate to the website, he was not donating. And then he went on to say, because this is it. At September 3rd, the Jamaican people got a chance to vote in PNP and they chose not to. So the recovery is wholly and solely on the government. And I see that as fraud, I see that as deception, everything. But it is what it is. The fact that all we're hearing now from the PNP is the same talking point. Somebody call Mark's speech a relaunch of their manifesto. Like the third, was that the third or the fourth relaunch of the manifesto? I don't know. Yeah, the stuff that we hear in manifesto, stuff that we hear on the campaign. I think the only thing new was now that we know, and I made a meme. I was this age when I learned that water is more expensive than gas in Jamaica. However, again, as Cliff said, we're blessed to have the leader we have now, the prime minister that we have, because as him say, based on Mark utterance, water being more expensive than gas, I would be scared to trust this man with the finance of the country. And I was listening to my brethren Shaka Fame. I was trying to find a clip to annoy you guys with one of his callers Saturday morning stated that the NWC water that Andrew Wallace was talking about and bragging about has what I'm saying, it's sewage or something to that effect. So yeah. First them say I lie, them I tell them not the water, and then them say, well, the water is. But that is PMP for you. They have the ability to switch. But something I wanted to highlight here. I'm seeing several people in the comments saying that they think they have been blocked from NNN chat on YouTube. Cliff, I don't know you personally, but I think you need to open your eyes to your creation. Yes, there are some things going on at your radio station that I'm not sure how that help you to gain more people. Again, critiquing Tyrone. I don't know if he's listening, but this is the internet. So yeah, I know this. It doesn't happen to me, but it happened to other people. When they're behind a microphone and they're just having a conversation, they're not mindful of what they're saying. Because sometimes the person with the microphone just having a debate. Yes? So it was interesting to hear Tyrone came back after the Prime Minister's presentation to admit it. And obviously the Prime Minister was listening because there were people trying to spread this false narrative. Ronaldino McLean was one of them to say what the Prime Minister ran on. What the Prime Minister campaigned on is to say, I did not take the increase from 2023. Mark Golden, from it issue, him did not take it. We have the video the video is online, let me put it that way. The archive is there, where the representative for the PNP, in the person of Julian Robinson, stood up in Parliament after Dr. Clark made the announcement and say, we on this side welcome the increase to parliamentarians, the MPs. It took Mark Golding 2 weeks to come out and say, no, and that Julian did I respond to. And they tried to spin it back with all kind of thing. The fact of the matter is, that sound like a PMP when I said that. Anyways, yeah, you have some slogan when you hear it. I just pay. The fact of the matter is one of them. If it is another one of them. What else? Anybody else can drop some PMP. Once you hear that, you just know that is a PMP. The fact of the matter is, Mark Golden have been receiving the increase since 2023, right? And this man have the audacity to come in 2026 and complain. Again, let me show you how PMP think. So they're saying that, oh, it's disgraceful that after the hurricane, this is when the prime minister chose to accept his salary. I hear somebody trying to explain something that was way above their mental capacity to say that, oh, no, it's going to cost the country more. No, it is budgeted. Also, it is budgeted for PJ Pattison to get the same money as him salary that the prime minister is getting now. However, I've been saying this with all due respect, but I think my prime minister is petty sometimes. Because by not accepting that increase in 2023, Portia and PJ did not get the increase either. So that make our left Mark to be the most paid parliamentarian in the Caribbean. However, we have the tape, we can go and look it up. Mark, to prove his white, I was about to say supremacy, but maybe that's going to be harsh, in the debate, turned to the prime minister and said, you're unconscionable because you gave yourself and your cabinet 230% increase. Gaslighting, well knowing that he was being paid way more than the prime minister, almost 3 or 4 times. But guess what? Mark, know this. I am white. I can just say things, and there are people who believe in me and running with it and won't question it. So I can say, you know what? I didn't accept it. I am going to give my increase to a charity. And we hear even Tyrone Reid now responding to it. So back to what I was saying, Cliff, pay attention. That same, when was it? Yeah. So Tyrone came back the next day and actually spoke facts that the prime minister said he wasn't taking it, and because election was around the corner, anybody became the prime minister could make a decision then to accept the increase or not, whatever decision they want to make. So giving a new mandate, then they will move. Madam Speaker, big up yourself on TikTok. What Madam Speaker summed this up, and I'm going to borrow it, is that, listen, regarding to the increase, the people of Jamaica have spoken and said, listen, we don't have a problem with Andrew Olis. Again, let me show, case in point. I was on a live a couple of weeks ago, and I asked Hugh Blair, which is a PMP activist, I asked him if the PMP had won the election in September of last year, would Mark Golding accept the prime minister's salary? Before I could finish or land, as they say on TikTok, before I could even land, he butt in and say, of course, and absolutely nothing is wrong with that. And I'm like, yeah. So what is the issue? My good friend on TikTok, Josh, I've given my answer long time. PMP, they do not have a problem with the prime minister's salary. The problem that they have is with Dr. Holness getting it. And we saw it. That is why the prime minister offered an olive branch to the opposition leader to say, Bridget, become an anti-bad mind person, man. Let go for the bad mind thing. Even that the PMP have a problem with. I heard one of them crashing out last night and say, the PMP is disrespectful. Da-da-da-da-da. I hear one of them on Shaka Show say the prime minister is bringing the parliament into disrepute and all kind of rubbish. Yes, but again, let me emphasize, Cliff Hughes, pay attention to your investment, sir. I've detected this a long time ago. Tyrone don't like when nobody try to have a debate with him, and I kind of find it uncomfortable, but again, decision have been made at NNN, Nationwide News Network, that we don't really value our callers, because we have seen where they have removed the call-in segment in the evening program, which I found all I listen to now, I think, is this 5 o'clock news, and then that's it. I find other places to be. In fact, Friday, I went to find Simon Croskill to listen to because I was being annoyed by Tyrone Reid on Nationwide. Yeah, I was being annoyed. And when you call him, you even hear him sometimes he's sounding very disingenuous. Like, you heard him ask Nadine Spence a question. Oh, so what you're saying is we should not give any whatever to the and as Nadine was saying, Dr. Spence, rightfully, when Tyrone said, "Oh, it is the Prime Minister and the thing that maybe sat at the table and whatever," it make it seems as if and giving power to the PMP's talking point to say, "Listen, as Mark put it, the PMP gave himself and his cabinet an increase, and that was not what happened." So to hear a seasoned journalist now sounding like a PMP vlogger, it is disheartening. It is. However, them say, "Oh, laugh, last, laugh best." I heard Tyrone admitted, because the Prime Minister was prepared for them, and it was even in, I think it was a news article or something like that, to say, "No, this is what I said. If the people give me a new mandate, then yeah." Yeah, man, I know where Simon is, man. I could not know where Simon is. After the death of Power 106, and I keep on saying it, so let me repeat it again, because I know people get offended when certain things are mentioned. If I am the best thing on Vibes Corner Radio right now, that's the radio station that I'm on every Monday night, why would boss cut my time from 10 hours down to 3 hours? That's a 70% cut. Wouldn't it be the other way around? Management trying to find how to give me some more hours, double my time. So there are some people going around talking about Lyman is the best economist in Jamaica and in the Caribbean. But it's not been panned out. 30 minutes. So from 2 hours a day, now down to why me feel like my bright pan maths now. So that's a 75% cut from 2 hours a day down to half an hour. Monday to Thursday. But yes, still is the best thing. Make it make sense. Don't make no sense. So again, I captioned this live, PMP is dead. And it's true. In a budget presentation, when they're going to come with things about, collect electronic collecting taxes and whatever. I sat on my bed last February and applied for renew my Jamaican passport. Yes. I had a car in Jamaica and I stayed right where I was and I paid for the fitness. So the other thing that Julian mentioned about point of sale tax collection, and a lot of people still don't understand, but let me try to explain or give you what I got from it. So it would set up where you have a business place and all the POS point of sale would set up. Once that transaction is done, it calculates the tax and it is sent directly to the government, right? I hear Shaka Fame stating that the pushback from the government is that is going to take a while to implement. I did a simple search today, and Mexico, our closest neighbor, who has it running, it took them 22 years to set up. Yeah. But they know it all PNP. They're saying, no, it is already established, blah, 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 blah. All I have to do is just buy the program and install it. So listen to me, people. And as a professionally trained and licensed technician, don't listen to people who them have the solution for everything. I saw, and I deleted it so I can't read it, so I'm going to paraphrase. I saw this on Facebook last night. Somebody complaining that a tech came out and charged him a bag of money to diagnose why the furnace wasn't coming on, and said it was the board. This is why a technician charged to diagnose, because there are people who, thanks to YouTube, they gave the diagnostic and then, or they're given the diagnostic and then they go and watch a YouTube video and try to, change the part. However, they decided they weren't paying to replace the board. However, get the board and they watch several tons of videos that say you need to land the command and the the command and the power, and they couldn't figure out what is the command and the power. And I was rolling because that is my feel. So be careful of people who they don't have not even a certificate in anything, but they know the answer. They know exactly what to do. Just think about this. One of Jamaica's biggest problem is that a large part of our economy is underground. What that mean? You have people who do business, and the only money that the government gets from them is the GCT, nothing else, right? Why you think you have so many people who don't want even a bank account? So Kata is saying all we need to do is just don't watch when Tyrone is on, and then we'll get the message. So, like I say, I think management, I don't know what truth is, but I heard that Cliffy's daughter, she's the one calling the shots now. They have different vision. So I don't know. Like I say, you see they have removed the calling segments on at evening time and put in these young people. I don't have a problem with young people because I was young at one point. People on the press, they say thanks for the reminder. Please press the like button, guys. You're watching the video. How much I want to there? Yeah, man, press the like button. And for those of you on TikTok, same thing, tap up your screen. I think Lee wanted to talk to me. I'm going to accept some people. I feel like I can go over tonight. Yeah. I feel like I can go over tonight. What time it is? The time is now 5 minutes to 10. Yeah, let's go 10:30. And if it become engaging, we can go above that. Yeah, so a lot of Jamaicans don't pay tax. And I said this on a live on TikTok that I think the PMPs, they're enjoying being in the opposition. Our opposition. You know why? You can loosely say anything and there's no consequence. There's nobody to hold you at any form of standard or even remind you of what you said the last time. Nobody to do that. So just chat. Anything come to your mind, you say it in a business. But when you're in government now, it's different. And I even hear the Prime Minister alluded to that. Just imagine if the Prime Minister listened to Julian Robinson and Mark Golden and Ralston Lyman when they were saying, stop paying down the debt so quickly and use the surplus to give it. I even heard Cliff with that thing talking about, oh, the people weren't feeling what is being done. And there's an analogy. I don't know if you guys are going to follow it, but there's an analogy. So for those who don't know, I live in America, right? Came here 10 years ago. September will be 10 years since I've migrated. And I have a lot of family, a lot of relatives, I should say, in Jamaica. Now, if every paycheck that I get, every Friday, Saturday, whatever, I have to top up everybody's phone, send money for go supermarket, do all of that stuff. When me I gonna get money for myself? I know I'm going to manage my responsibilities and stuff that I have to do. Which, this is what happened. The same people that you're maintaining every day, every week, being it friends or family members, because you have some people that are my big friend, DP is not begging none. So I don't have nobody that I have to do anything for. I'm not obligated to not a soul. Not a soul. Right? It's the same people call you when they're in times of need. So make it make sense. Do you have money in the surplus like that you can maintain their day-to-day living? So you have people who don't work, choose not to work, they don't want to go to hard trust, which again from the budget presentation, I hear people asking what is it that the government have planned for poor people? Our trust NTA now is free up to level 5. Yeah. Artrust NTA, free up to level 5. When I went to Artrust in 1999, I think it was level 2 that was free, or was level 1 alone? I don't remember. It is so long ago, right? So that is not something being done for poor people. So that brings me to, let's have the conversation which Mr. Mineda got about. So the government did promise to raise the minimum wage to 18,500 for this year, 2026. Now, the same PMP who say in can't raise minimum wage, I hear them now asking for, so you see how disingenuous this man is, because now 32,000 say, you see, these people, they listen, are they here, but they don't, I don't even know how to frame that. I really don't know how to frame it, because the Prime Minister did not say The next time minimum wage is being increased, it's going to be increased to 32,000. He said within this term. Within the term supposed to be 5 years, right? So the same people who complain said in can't raise the kind of go mash up the economy and people get fired now is demanding to get the 32. They're uncomfortable, them blick out, them vex because him only, this is how them put it, him only put on $1,000 upon the minimum wage. People, and I know my people are my bright people, but just in case there are people on the For You page who you're not bold enough to even click in the live so I can see you, or you're watching on YouTube or listening on Vibes Corner Radio. Let me try to educate you. First and foremost, if you don't know, research it. What is a minimum wage? What is that? Let me try to explain. The minimum wage is a law that states that a employer should not, no, what I don't say, cannot, because people break the law every day, pay you below that for a 40-hour work week. That's all it is. There's nothing that says when the Prime Minister, being it a JLP or a PNP Prime Minister, announce a minimum wage, he's saying this is binding to the fact that if you work 40 hours, you cannot get more than $17,000. In fact, everybody that I know that runs business have always been paying more than the minimum wage. So I know establishment from Portland, in Port Antonio, my good friend them own. A lot of times when the minimum wage is increased, the worker don't even look at that. Because look at it this way. If you're paying your staff $20,000 a week, when Andrew raised it from 15,000 to 16,000, you're already way above that. So you don't need to pay nothing. And I still know people, them go to boom and they look at them and say, all right, but me still put on one $500 upon it because whatever. Although they are already above it. See, in the chat here, somebody is informing me that still in America, minimum wage is $7.50. That is not 100% true because every state have a different minimum wage. Unless you're saying that's the national, because they have a way of working that out too. You can drop that if that's what you're saying. But I know that every state tend to have a different minimum wage. So again, the point is the minimum wage announcement, there's no way that the Prime Minister is saying you cannot pay more than the $17,000. So I don't see why people are hung up or bug up on this. Oh, adjust $1,000 and put, and listen how they word it, because Joshua, thanks again. The art of propaganda. You don't hear them state that the minimum wage is now $17,000. When Andrew got the country to run in 2016, the minimum wage was $5,200. And in 10 years, $12,000 has gone on that. Right? And again, do not waste your time getting into any debate with people, because this is how they word it. Adjust $1,000 and put on the minimum. Now that take away where it's at, to say the minimum wage is now 17,000. And if you go and you check your history, the most the minimum wage has ever been increased. Some state is 15 and some is 20. Right, Simone is saying some state is 15. Like I say, every state is different, but I think there's a way that they do some reporting to say a national. So I think they do some averaging, but I don't want to get hung up and bang up on that. Right? But if we don't learn nothing else tonight, those who did not know, do not waste your time and argue with somebody who want to debate about the minimum wage. Because when the Prime Minister announced a $1,000 increase, so move it from 16,000 to 17,000 as of July 1st, he's not saying you cannot be paid more. So how do you get paid more? Like I said before I start talking about the minimum wage. Even if you already have a skill, get certified. So I learned this from I was going to Hard Trust. If you're already in a skill, they will go out and assess you on the job. If you're a barber or an hairdresser or a plumber or an electrician or a mechanic or whatever, they will come out and assess you on the job because guess what? Paper do it. Paper do it. Now listen to some idiot talk about, oh no, me learn this and did it, me no need no papers. No, papers talk. So when you bring yourself to a position now where I was listening to a live the other day and Lexi was on, and Lexi say she have been trying to get laborer just for carry the sand and gravel and whatever and thing. I heard that it's $6,000 a day. Laborer get paid now in Jamaica. And she's trying to offer $8,000 and still can't get no take up. And it's not that these people are PMP who just want to sit down on the roadside and get tricked by Isaac Buchanan talking rubbish about every Jamaican for just wake up and get $40,000 just to be a Jamaican. I think that's why they voted for him in East Portland. They bought into that rubbish that, yeah, him say it. So every Jamaican for just get $40,000 just because you're Jamaican. Like, no, these are people who are working. Rusty mentioned something which I wasn't aware of. Rusty stated that what is happening, there's a new thing that Andrew Owners have done. The Chinese, when them take on laborer, is not just a laborer. They have to train them. And the same artrous thing you just alluded to, that has been happening. So you have a youth to start on a site as a little laborer. And maybe him like the steel work. I heard of a young lady from in St. James that had happened to. She started just doing steel whatever, and now she's a supervisor. Yes. So there has been a shift where we're not just employing laborers. You come in as a laborer and you get trained into something else. So you can't just call one youth and say, come carry some sand, because the people who want to carry sand have them on full. And again, look how this work out. You go to boom and you say, even if it's washing dirty clothes, can you still have people a washing machine and still hire people to come and help out in the house, you know? So I used to do that. I'm a washing machine and my helper come and she use the washing machine and then she hang out the clothes them, and yeah, because we must utilize the sun. We don't need dryers, but I'm just saying. And you go to boom and you do this for 1 tree. You do this for 1 3 4 people. You're making more than that. 3 6 is our 18. If you go to boom and you get $6,000 a day, you don't have to work 40 hours. You set up yourself and you say, all right, may I go them 3 places, 3 days, 3 8 16. So right there, so you're making more. Also, Dr. Taylor, Arville Taylor, the first time I heard him mention this, I say, I agree with you 100%, sir. You shouldn't have nobody a work for you where you cannot pay them $16,000, $17,000 a week for 40 hours. If you cannot afford to pay somebody working 40 hours for you, you don't need to have that person. And I hear them, oh, people are going to get sent home, whatever. No, rubbish. When it was increased last year to $16,000, I asked, can somebody tell me one person who lost their job because it was increased to 16? Again, like I said, the PMP, the opposition, they're irresponsible. So they talk and they say, we are for the poor and the minimum wage is too low. And And when the Prime Minister announced an increase, them say, no, people are going to get sent home because they can't afford it. Because them increase everybody and the civil servant and everything. And again, people, do not stress yourself over these people. Don't. I beg you no. Because we know that that's a lie. The whole civil servant classification, the same thing that PMP talking about, Andrew give himself and him cabinet ministers 300 card them done. Mark alone me here said the right figure, 230. I guess because he knew that he was on TV. So him said the right figure. But we hear 300,000, not 300,000, 300%. So again, finally on this, I'm not going to waste my time with nobody discussing no minimum wage, because my thing is, if you do not want to get paid a minimum wage, go and upskill yourself. Let me share a little bit about me, personal. So I came here 2016, never work as hard as I worked. here when I just come. I went to factories, and that we used to call them in Jamaica. I've worked at Gap, first job. I worked at Abercrombie and Fitch. Where else? More at one next place where them send people. I was doing welding, which American welding is not you welding nothing. But did I make car seats under Odyssey car seats. Yeah. Strap up some iron, cause them have them pre-cut and whatever, and you just clamp it up, press one button, and it swing round, and the robot them and well up. Yeah. I hated that. I was standing for 2 hours, whatever. I'm like, nah, me this. Nah, me this. Like me, I've made my own business at Jamaica and all of this. But I had a game plan. Right? 2 things I told myself. If I stayed in America for 5 years, I must be certified in something. And also I must become a citizen. Yeah. I gave myself a challenge. I went back to school at age 40. Yeah. 40 or 42? 42. What am I talking about? Yes. Because I'll be 46 next month. Yes. So 42, I went to school. Well, actually 41, because it was a 9-month course and I graduated. Oh, yeah. So sorry. So I started preparation at 40, start my schooling 41, graduated 42. So now it's 4 years since I'm an HVAC tech license certified. I had a fear. I thought that although it was an adult program, I was going to be the oldest there. It wasn't the case. I saw even this nurse. She said she's sick and tired of that, so she wanted something else. She wants something more hands-on. Yada, yada, yada. So she was doing HVAC. And I graduated top of my class, 4.0 GPA, best attendance, all works. In fact, I got scholarship. So technically, I went to school for free. Something I never did happen when I got school in Jamaica. I got school every day. No, I never depend that. But I got best attendance. I think I missed maybe 2 or 3 days from school. And I was saying this on a live the other day that when I look at one of the reasons why I really respect Dr. Andrew Holness, he has demonstrated that your situation does not have to be your future. I just kind of a while ago, write it down. Your current situation does not have to be your future. I don't let it dictate. A lot of time it's your mindset. If you say you can't, then you won't. And I mean, you create that did out there before, right? If me did come and decide, say, boy, me too old, yeah, man, blah, 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 whatever, maybe I'll be still at the dealership I was working at, lifting up bumper. And I was talking to somebody about damaging even my rotatory cuff. Lifting up engine, because they never want to use forklift and all of these things. Yeah, I could be still there working. It was double the minimum wage, but not much. And I said, no, I want to go back to like where I was in Jamaica. And those who don't know, I did freelance news for TVJ for 6 years before I migrated. I was always I never have a set job. So even at the dealership I was working, me not even did know, say, oh, your vacation and something, you have to use it up before your anniversary. I started December 11 or 12 and me did wait on them. All of that. People know me at about me. Me never know nothing about them something. Because me never have no job. Even when I was teaching, I taught for 9 years at a prep school. And I went in twice a week. So I was always dictating how much money I made. Me never have one set the job where me go in 9 to 5 and clock in. I remember collecting $1,000 just to say, Port Antonio, this Saturday, Colin Hines will be at the Roof Club, playing the best of the 80s and 90s. $1,000. Me just say that, boom, put it on a flash drive, give brother or whosoever did IMFA. Yeah, $1,000. So just look at that. If I did 10 of that for a week, that was 10 grand. And this is over 10 years ago, me 12, 13 years me telling about. Me never ever have no set. So again, may I try help some people. If you're a PMP, me can't tell you, say, honey tastes better than the something we fly like. I can't. So you go all way all and me not try. But I believe that there are sensible people who have been led astray. And because I know this, a lie go and challenge, after a while you feel like it's the truth. So this whole thing where we put the minimum wage only and solely off the feet of government and say government wicked because they don't increase minimum wage or the minimum wage. No, what we're supposed to be telling ourselves, and big up yourself, Philippines. She said this and it's true. The minimum wage was put in place for like your first job. So you have a new high school, just left high school, or you're a dropout. you expect to be getting the same pay I am getting as a trained, licensed, certified 5 years technician. If you think like that, something wrong with your thinking. So the minimum wage is the base. But if you have this mindset to even say work for people, and I said this yesterday, and alive, they are PNP is hearsay oriented. There are a lot of people. In fact, I did a quick search, and if you have a second device, those of you can check it. It is between 25 and 30% of people in the workforce that are paid at minimum wage. Between 25 and 30%. So, uno say, I just fool the PNP take on for when them say something I want to run with that. It's not even minimum wage workers in the workforce, they don't account for not even 50%. Exactly. Minimum wage is for kids living with parents and getting ready to study. Thank you very much. So that is what Philippians say, and I agree with her. We should not be arguing because there's a 45-year-old person getting minimum wage. That is your decision. Because even if you decide to do your own business, I was running a game shop before I migrated, and my game shop was grossing $1.5 million a year. Simple. A TV with Xbox 360 and the youth them come by time. Play them Mortal Kombat and them FIFA and them whatever. I was grossing $1.5 million a year. So there are people who are self-employed who they give a diddly squat about minimum wage because minimum wage is chicken feed. And I don't know what true it is, but back in the day, way before, we have this whole salary reforming and thing and police. Come here, so police not really beg nobody like no money anymore. So I not think that I gotta be 100% eradicated, but it's better. Police officers are being paid better. But I was told that part of the problem where them have with like all the taxi man them and the farmer them, not farmer, the people that must self-produce, is because back in them days, one police pay done before him get it. Because him trust breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sometime even from the cook shop run at the station. So before him getting paid done. Unlike you're up on the road and even if a orange you sell. Big up my mother. My mother used to sell orange at a morning time. Big up Mama Lola, boy, you work hard, Even orange, you can make more than that depending on how you decide to do your thing. So again, minimum wage does not reflect or it does not dictate that you cannot get paid more than that. So again, last time I said this, and when I went to Archers, I didn't stay. I went to Archers to do electrical installation. The Prime Minister, for those of you who say nothing never in the budget presentation for poor people, which again don't make no sense to me because up to you, Richard, stated last night on a live that 70% of what the Prime Minister said in his presentation was taken out of Mark Golding's speech. So yes, and I say me as strange for say that because it does not make any sense, right? This is it. Your takeaway. Hard Trust NTA. You can go there at any age and you can get certified up to level 5. Also, if you're already in your field, you don't want to change or nothing, and you don't do your thing, check with them to see if they certify your field. Right? Right. So, what else do I want to talk about? Let me check to see if anybody wants to join me over here. So, all right, only one person I know, and most of the time I'm a tap shut up. So I have my TikTok up and running. If you guys want to come and talk to me, just send a request. I'll add you. We can have a conversation. Not even wholesale don't pay minimum wage. They pay more. That is the point I was making. There are a lot of establishments that they do not pay minimum wage. They don't. But guess what? These people know what they want to know, and they don't know what they don't want to know. Yes, let's play the Prime Minister addressing this water thing. Drop a clip. Yeah, again, if you're watching on TikTok and you like to join me, come have a conversation or share or make a point, you're free to do so. Come up, Prime Minister.
This is less than $100. This one is $44. Very nice, very nice. But I have another present for you. Send this over. We have one for you. This is NWC water. NWC water. So this is about $20. Right? Of course. Now that I brought it here. So when I heard so when I heard
You heard that a while ago in your pipe? I'm going to talk about that.
when I heard the protestations of the leader of the opposition that water costs more than gas. So yes, if you bought onion or some other, but that's not the question. The question is, why would the leader of the opposition go and buy water that costs more than gas when there are other options that are more economical? Madam Speaker, to me, it tells me that I wouldn't trust him with managing my economy.
I tell her that Andrew unless is petty, right? Yeah. I wouldn't trust him in managing my economy. And I hear the PNP stressing and pushing it and talking about once last night on a live. So tell me something. If you're downtown and you shop from wholesale to wholesale, and you want water, where you go buy? You're not gonna buy it on the road for $100. Now, something else. I say I have a guest here. I'm going to see if it's somebody that wants to talk with me in a minute. I heard that Mark Golan have something to do with his re-rum company have something to do with water and the importation and GCT and all of that. So removing GCT from water, who's our benefit? And I heard even Shaka Fame on his show saying, in a bar, if you're thirsty and I go to a bar, go drink. Hello, people. Water can also be free in Jamaica. Yeah, you have some nice spring come out of some place. But anyway, I could left that. Hello, good evening. Hello. Lato Pinch, you want to talk to me or no? I'm not hearing you, and I don't know why. Seems like you're talking, but I'm not hearing you. Check. Type in the comment, Lato Pinch, if you're commenting, because I know I hooked this up right, so I don't know why I'm not hearing you. But yeah, why would you want to go and purchase water more expensive than gas? Why? Why would you want to do such thing? Don't make no sense to me. Don't make no sense to me. All right, let's play another video. And somebody else can send me a request just in case it's just Lato. I see the thing blowing up, but I'm not. All right, I'm not hearing. Guess I was already added. One more video from the Prime Minister.
ones calling the parliament to find out the amount of their retroactive pay. Madam Speaker, the leader of the opposition only talks. I do the job of Prime Minister, and I head 4 other ministries. The leader of the opposition only talks. Many times nonsense. And takes home $27 million. In the last term, the leader of the opposition earned more than the Prime Minister. The opposition spokesman on finance stood in this house and said the opposition.
And Erica saying that was the best part. So let's start it over. Pull up.
Madam
Pull up.
Speaker, the leader of the opposition only talks. I do the job of Prime Minister, and I head 4 other ministries. The leader of the opposition only talks. Many times nonsense. And takes home $27 million. In the last term, the leader of the opposition earned more than the Prime Minister. The opposition spokesman on finance stood in this house and said the opposition has no problem with the increase in MP salaries. A few days later, the Pnp General Secretary put out a release saying they strongly object to the salary increase for cabinet ministers and members of parliament. Yet, Madam Speaker, none of them, with their self-righteous objection, declined to take their salary increase. None of them. In fact, Madam Speaker, they were the first ones calling the parliament to find out the amount of their retroactive pay. I'll share this with you, Madam Speaker. A member on that side, not to be named, obviously concerned that the public posture of the PNP could force the government to reverse the pay increase, called to say that I should ignore the statement of the PNP General Secretary and the leader of the opposition, as all their MPs agreed with the increase and could not survive without it. My current decision to forego any salary increase could easily be changed by another Prime Minister in the future, or a new mandate may give an opportunity to reconsider the Prime Minister's salary. On September 3rd, 2025 leader of the opposition, the people of Jamaica weighed all these matters in the political scale and gave my administration a new mandate based on the work we have done to earn their confidence. Madam Speaker, I have a gift here. If the standing orders would allow, I want to give it to the leader of the opposition. If he doesn't, if you don't want, that's fine. But I thought it would have been so appropriate. I thought it would be appropriate. By the way, Madam Speaker, this is a cap that is one of our local designers. It's a very popular cap, and I thought that the leader of the opposition would do well. So, Madam Speaker, has no problem
The
with the
voice of
increase
the
in
Prime Minister
MP
of
salaries.
Jamaica, Andrew Owens. Him, you know, I hear as Tyrone himself, 'cause tonight seems like a Tyrone night, said that, yeah, man, them get some blow, them get some heavy blow. And it's one of those things that they say if you live in a glass house, don't throw a stone. Because, see, I mentioned it earlier. The Prime Minister did state that given whosoever the outcome of the September 3rd election, the people will decide. So thanks again, Madam Speaker, for underscoring that eloquently by saying we should not be in any debate with nobody about the Prime Minister's salary when him take it, if him take it or not like that. Because when the Prime Minister said that he was not accepting it, he made it clear. And as he said, the people of Jamaica have spoken. All right, our topic. Let's jump to another clip. Tonight is clip night. Let's jump to another clip. Come up.
Man must stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must behave like man. Man must take decision like man. You weak jellyback. Oh, Jesus have mercy. Me not deal with jellyback man. Me love man, we a man. We stand up like man. We talk like man. We act like man. We behave like man. Man a man. Elders get up. Stand up like man. Worship God like man. Praise God like man. Lord Jesus have mercy. Somebody had trouble.
So,
man a man. Man must stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must behave like man. Man must take decision like man. You weak jellyback. Oh, Jesus have mercy. Me not deal with jellyback man. Me love man, we a man. We stand up like man. We talk like man. We act like man. We behave like man. Man a man. Elders get up. Stand up like man. Man must
stand up like man. Man must act like man. Man must behave like man. When that's supposed to be on another shirt. Yeah, that's a good slogan for a shirt or a t-shirt or a cap. Man a man. Yeah. So we saw those of us who agree with this, we never did make nothing out of it because that is fact. It is fact. There's no two way about that. However, we saw that there are people who are disgruntled. They're saying that the prime minister should have never said that at this time. It is insensitive, amongst other things. But I'm happy to know that these people won't find no comfort in this administration. Our prime minister boldly stated that man a man. And you guys can search the video. There are several videos on the net where the question has been asked from both politicians and other people here in the US to give the definition of who is a man. And they go try to jump through all kind of hoops. But we know that. Our prime minister knows that you will never hear that from didn't one of the popular PMP vlogger call Mark Golden a jellyback man. Is my memory fading? These PMP top brass attend too much all boys school where they learn education and sensation. Okay. Yes, wasn't it one of the PMP vlogger stated that? Mm-hmm. Footer, you want to join the show? Cause me at the end, but me not hear you. So if you want to join it, come up, man. We can have a conversation. Cause I don't know, me not back down from nobody or nothing, you know. You understand? So something else as I see this video, and maybe I should jump to it. So we see that PMP is trying to change history. Oh no, another clip. Let me play one next one before I play that one. The PMP is trying to rewrite history, but it won't work. We know that it won't work. And thank God for not that one, this one. Yeah. For technology.
Because they've never used to this kind of life.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant. The FINSAC entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by
the Manchester
Sector Adjustment Company, or FINSAC, was created by the People's National Party, and its intervention was supposed to save Jamaica from economic disaster. But instead, it left us with long-term wounds.
Even my children, them sometimes them confused because they've never used to this kind of life.
After working hard for several years to build his dream house, he was thrown out in an instant. The FINSAC entrepreneur claims his house, which was valued at between $9 and $11 million, was offloaded by FINSAC for just $3.5 million.
By shutting down numerous banks, consolidating them into a single entity, and selling that entity to foreign interests, FINSAC reshaped the Jamaican economy, often to the detriment of local stakeholders. So in this video, we'll dive into the inception of FINSAC, the economic conditions leading to its creation, the banks it shut down, the scandals and lawsuits that followed, and how these actions culminated in the consolidation and eventual sale of Jamaican banks to foreign interests. Like the video and let's proceed. Economic boom and bust. The late 1980s and early 1990s, a time when Jamaica was basking in economic glory. The economy was booming, life was good, and prosperity was the order of the day. But like all good things, it was too good to last. By the early 1990s, Jamaica was hit by high interest rates, rampant inflation, and a classic case of economic mismanagement. The Bank of Jamaica's reserves were as dry as a desert, and the once glorious banking environment was teetering on the brink. Between 1991 and 1995, inflation averaged over 40% annually, and interest rates soared above 42%. Now talk about a recipe for disaster. The creation of FINSAC. Now enter FINSAC, or a knight in shining armor, or so we would have thought. Established in 1997 under the watchful eye of the People's National Party, or PNP, FINSAC was supposed to be the hero that would save us from financial doom. Their mandate? Stabilize the financial sector that was collapsing faster than a house of cards. But instead of saving the day, FINSAC's interventions left Jamaica with long-term scars that still haunt us today.
Mr. Poyser is a real estate developer who says he borrowed $9 million to help fund the housing development.
You'll never know how much I love you. When you're gone, I just think of you.
But like other entrepreneurs bitten by the FINSAC bug, he saw his debt ballooning out of control.
Now, let's take a look at the first wave of closures. One of the first victims of FINSAC's rescue mission was Century National Bank, led by Don Crawford. Century was accused of mismanagement, and the politically motivated actions led to the bank's assets being frozen and taken over. Century National Bank's closure was just the beginning of FINSAC's takeover spree.
Yes, I've indicated, well, firstly, FINSAC is indeed the big black bear that we have never seen before. They're like the great white shark, and it's hungry. And they have overlooked all aspects of principle, decency, honesty, transparency, integrity, and they have maintained a very vicious profile from the very beginning. What they did to Century in itself, without prejudice to the other victims, is a colossal disaster. We are undoubtedly the biggest victims.
FINSAC did not stop there. Their list of casualties grew to include Eagle Commercial Bank, Workers Savings and Loan Bank, Citizens Bank, Island Victoria Bank, Citizens Merchant Bank, Corporate Merchant Bank, and Island Life Merchant Bank. These banks, already on life support due to severe liquidity problems and deposit runs, were put out of their misery by FINSAC's intervention. But who needs stability when you really have chaos? No. Here are some of the businesses and individuals affected by FINSAC. The ripple effects of FINSAC's actions extended far beyond the banks themselves. Countless businesses and individuals found themselves caught in the crossfire of the financial sector's collapse. The businesses: Eagle Financial Network. This conglomerate, which included Eagle Commercial Bank and other financial services, was dismantled under FINSAC's watch. The disintegration of Eagle's businesses resulted in significant job losses and a blow to investor confidence. Workers Savings and Loan Bank. Workers Savings and Loan Bank closure affected numerous small and medium enterprises that relied on its services for loans and financial support. The sudden unavailability of credit stifled business growth and expansion plans. Island Life Insurance Company. One of the largest insurers in Jamaica, Island Life's financial stability was undermined by FINSAC's interventions. The company struggled to honor policies and faced a loss of trust among policyholders. Individuals affected by FINSAC's action. Don Crawford. The founder of Central National Bank, Crawford, faced allegations of mismanagement and saw his life's work dismantled. He was left to battle legal accusations and attempt to clear his name amidst a storm of controversy. Carl Wright, the head of Eagle Financial Network, witnessed the disintegration of his company's financial empire. He faced not only the loss of his business, but also reputational damage and legal challenges. Also, ordinary Jamaicans were affected. The broader Jamaican public, including depositors, employees, and small business owners, suffered immensely. Many saw their savings wiped out, their jobs lost, and their businesses falter due to the financial instability caused by FINSAC's actions. Lawsuits and scandals. And let's not forget the drama. Don Crawford and other bank owners weren't going down without a fight. They alleged conspiracy, unfair treatment, and politically motivated actions. Lawsuits flew left and right, painting a picture of a financial sector mired in scandal and mismanagement. However, we can't have a financial crisis without a little bit of courtroom drama, though. Consolidation into Union Bank. In a move that was supposed to bring stability, FINSAC merged the assets of the failing banks into Union Bank of Jamaica in 2000. This Frankenstein's monster of a bank was supposed to be stronger and more resilient. But, as you guessed, it wasn't. The consolidation process was a mess, and the confidence in the banking sector continued to plummet. Sale to RBTT. In 2001, the Union Bank of Jamaica was sold to the Royal Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, RBTT. Critics saw this as the ultimate betrayal, a loss of Jamaican financial sovereignty as control of our banks was handed over to foreign interests. Because nothing screams economic independence like selling your banks to another country. Impact on the economy. The aftermath of FINSAC's actions was a far-reaching economic disaster. Job losses, reduced access to credit, and a massive loss of confidence in the financial system were just the tip of the iceberg. Entrepreneurs and investors watched their fortunes evaporate, and the ripple effects of these actions are still felt today. The entrepreneurial spirit of Jamaicans was crushed, and a culture of risk aversion took root among new generations of professionals. FINSAC was created by the People's National Party, and its intervention was supposed to save Jamaica from economic disaster. But instead, it left us with long-term wounds. By shutting down numerous banks, consolidating them into a single entity, and then selling that entity to foreign interests, FINSAC reshaped the Jamaican economy, often to the detriment of local stakeholders. I really did have to repeat that. The legacy of these actions underscores the complexities and challenges of managing a national financial crisis without causing long-term harm to the economy and its citizens. So much for the knight in shining armor. At the moment though, Jamaica is experiencing exceptional growth, but one step in the wrong direction and it could all come happening again. Thank you for watching.
Yes, presenter, you did a good job. Very, eloquently and all of that. I like it. So tonight is play clip night. I'm still inviting. Gonna be here for a couple more minutes. If you're watching on TikTok or YouTube and you want to communicate with me, you have to go to TikTok and then send a request there, and we can have a conversation. Send me the invite. I'll add you. We can talk. I don't really like to hear my voice, unlike what most people think. So yeah, send the requests. Come up in the box. Even if you disagree with what I'm saying, I don't have a problem with that. I have another clip I want to share with you guys.
FINSAC was not a good thing. And I'm not certain why, and this is a young person. And you wonder about the future of the politics when you see young people being so blindly partisan. Because the reason FINSAC is being painted to be a good thing here by Mr. Perry Cummings Jr. It's because he wants to polish up the image of the People's National Party and their bad stewardship of the Jamaican economy that led to the establishment of FINSAC. Now, let me just read a little thing for you that you can find by just Googling. It says, whether the Financial Sector Adjustment Company, FINSAC, was good is one of the most debated topics in Jamaica's economic history. While it succeeded in its primary goal of preventing a total collapse of the financial system, it did so at a massive social and economic cost that the country felt for decades. The amount of debt that the Financial Sector Adjustment Company left on Jamaicans. Nigel Clark famously told the country that we just finished paying for that debt after so many years. FINSAC was not a good thing. There should have been no need for FINSAC had the then PNP administration been managing the economy properly. There would have been no need for FINSAC that would have saddled us with such a great burden of debt. And easily Google, he says the information is there. Massive debt burden. Intervention costs approximately 40% to 42% of Jamaica's GDP. This led to a rapid buildup of national debt that took the country 30 years to significantly reduce and to get rid of. Yeah? Destruction of local businesses. The high interest rate policies associated with that era caused over 40,000 businesses to fail. Yeah? Look, this idea that FINSAC was a good thing, he should not repeat it. And if he wants people to take him seriously as a politician in the future, I'd offer him this unsolicited advice, yeah, that he does not repeat that statement, because it is absolutely not true. It is revisionist history, and it is a poor attempt at trying to make the PNP look good. The PNP failed during those 18 unbroken years that they were in office. They failed miserably. It was a masterclass in how not to run a country. And you have to accept that and just say to the Jamaican people, we won't do that again. We can offer you better. FINSAC was...
So, let me apologize because I didn't listen. Based on what Nationwide purported, they reported that a young member of the young arm PNP. But anyway, I know the talking point because this young man, Mr. Perry Cummings Jr., was on Chuck's Live, I think a day before he went on Nationwide to repeat his rubbish, which I can tell you exactly where it's coming from, which I wanted to talk about this. Soja Holland, I soon bring in. So when I compare, and some of the times it's good to not be in something, and it's like, to me, I think you see it better. I'm not in Jamaica, most of you know this, right? So there are people who they're seeing it. It is clear day by day. When you compare the two leaders of the parties, the prime minister and the leader of the opposition, it's clearly show that one of them is leading from the front. Oh my goodness, I shouldn't use that analogy, because I was going to say, and the other one is leading from the rear, which I know Soji will get it, because I was a cadet, so I get training from the JDF, and we have a term where we say, bring up the rear, meaning Soji know what that means. But anyways, so let it not be said that I said Mark is leading from the rear. I did not say such thing. I just say one of the leader is leading from the front. The other leader is leading from somewhere else, because when I hear some things from Mark Golden, me and Travi had this discourse the other day, because I'm telling Travi that, and I know me know Shaka Fame, and I'm hearing Mark Golden repeating something where a Shaka Fame first me hear with them. One of the famous line, whenever you hear Shaka Fame talk about FINSAC, he says exactly what Perry went and repeat and embarrass himself on Nationwide, that FINSAC wasn't the problem. FINSAC was the solution. And they try to make it seem as if FINSAC wasn't people who were FINSAC'd. It never happened. Chuck me back to you, can I ask if you send me the recording with the lady on Running African with Andrea Williams Green. I remember her African name now. The lady wrote a book about FINSAC. And when I listen to the lady, every time, because I can't tell you people the truth, I do not really like to hear the stories, because me never hear, I think the only positive story, well, I don't know if I'm positive or the right, but there are some politicians in Jamaica now that their followers post and say, oh, they came to politics rich already. And I think the Prime Minister alluded to people who are sitting in the parliament currently who have benefited from FINSAC. This is how their wealth came about. But I'm not taking a lawsuit, so let me just leave that at that. Everybody when me hear that has been FINSACed, listening to their stories alone bring tears to my eyes. The lady say, then come and say she have to left and tell her about one house in the area where nice area she was living in was for rent. She got to find out that it's the same people them were purportedly bought that her house, which she not even did know was her house, was up for sale. Or in the next house that she's supposed to be rented. And when she went back to the house now, them done have her things them pack up in a truck. Not even pack up, fling down in a truck, ready to move her out. Yep. One gentleman say he was offering them because he heard that I think his house was being sold for $11 million. And when he was offering to pay the money, them said, no, you can't get it. Several stories of people taking their own lives, and Perry Cummings is going to repeat the rubbish from Ashaka fame. By this time, sir, you should change that to Shaka shame. But no, you have no reason to feel shame because your follower is now growing and you're huge. So when you can have your leader repeating rubbish that come out of your mouth, I think that's an accomplishment. I think I would feel nice if, no, I wouldn't. I don't have that kind of personality. If I if I say foolishness and people go and repeat it, that would make me feel bad. So something like I hear Shaka pushing and saying the point of sale collection, tax collection that Julian Robinson alluded to in his presentation, it won't take no years to implement because all we have to do is just go and buy the software. That speaks to how limited he is. And when we have economists, that's their line, and they come out and they say, listen, it's not so much of a bad idea. Because again, I will agree, it's not so much of a bad idea because if the government can get their portion right at the point of sale, so you go to somewhere, you buy, say it's gas you're buying, and you buy 3,000, are you full up your tank, whatever amount that is to fill your tank. If there's a way that the government get their GCT or SCT, whichever one, directly, that is better than allowing some of these corrupt, which some of them is even PNP themselves, collecting the GCT on behalf of the government and not paying it over, which I think people who do that are supposed to go to prison. And I don't care if you're labor rights. If you have a business and you're collecting GCT and you're not turning it over, you're breaking the law. You are. So yes, it would be a good idea. It is a good idea. But to give this false hope that all you have to do is just go and buy a software. That is how they're reporting it. And it can be implemented in no time. What rubbish. So I heard somebody at Payne today, Dan C, I think the name was, with Travi. Travi, you're too bright for these comrades, you know. That is why they don't like you. He's saying Mark Golden gave suggestions that would help. And one of them, and I was rolling on the floor. One of them was by implementing the point of sale collecting taxes, the government will collect more taxes. But the same PNP, they're having a problem now and having a meltdown because they're saying the government is wicked because the government has now announced increase in taxes. And let me repeat something, and I won't stop saying it. Every tax that is coming, new tax, first in 11 years or 12 years, are taxes by choice. So let me deal with the first one first. Poor people cannot buy a brand new car. They can't. That's a fact. So for the travel officers who are going to import brand new cars Them not poor. So they can make a decision to say, I'm driving a 2022. Even if you're driving a 2020 car, you don't need your car. And if you don't import a brand new car, then you won't pay that tax. Sugary drink. I scanned to mark $100 for a bottle of water. And I was told that if you give somebody $100 in a Jamaica now, a disrespect. So you can't give them $100. So technically, and if you show you how disingenuous this man is again, you notice he had to come with, I wonder if he's sending a message. He didn't come with one water. He came with a Soji, somebody earlier and I wasn't hearing them. Unmute your mic, let me see if this thing is functioning properly. Soji? All right, so it looked like something Agwana is supposed to Agwana. So I'm going to disconnect. Let me do this. Let me do this. Give me 1 second. Don't hang up. I'm going to settings and drop my Bluetooth. Bluetooth on. What am I connected to? Broadcaster connect. All right, let's drop the Bluetooth and see where we go with this. Soji. Yeah, man. It looked like some connectivity. You were hearing me though. Yes. So it looked like something did go on with me getting back the audio. But yeah, man, welcome to the show. Mm-hmm. Yes. And interesting that you said that, because the same lady you hear me talk about a while ago, that is why I was told that is why she did the Andrea Williams Green did the interview, because the lady is basically saying in her book it was a bid to crush black people who basically have it. I try one more thing, see if we can get go ahead, Soji.
You hear me?
Yeah, man.
Yo, yeah. So may I say to you, say, one of the things is, listen to how people is disingenuous. BP, 44,000 business crumble.
Mm-hmm.
How else could it not be the government?
The PNP them say so much building, so much business are there in Jamaica. You hear that story there?
Man, listen, man, we don't have no waste time with waste man. Man a man in a DP.
True.
Man a man in a DP.
I in a jelly back.
Can't waste time with waste man.
Mm-hmm.
No, man, we not deal with that. So what I'm saying to you is that just to show you these people are heartless. They can't think why so much business with a crumble. They can't say something never right. They can't say something never right. Why so much people lose their wealth? You lose them businesses.
It was designed.
You know what hurt me? You know what hurt me, DP? When the man said he would have buy back in house and then give him. That means they might take with them things.
Yes, man.
They might take with them things, DP. DP, they were heartless, DP.
Mm-hmm.
They were heartless. They might take with him. Roll on him and offer to buy him one of things, DP. And they said, no, DP.
Me go find the money. I'll do on a rob me. Me go find the money if you pay for the same amount. And them say, no, you can't get it. By design, brother. It was by design. But like I said, they're trying to rewrite the history by saying that it wasn't a bad thing. That's the problem I have with them. They're saying that FINSAC was not a bad thing. And only the people them make the fortune or make them riches, as how they keep on saying. You know, these people didn't come to politics broke. They came with their money. So Chavi's asking if I'm live on YouTube. Yes, DP Live. That's a channel on YouTube.
Well, DP, it is rubbish. Here one Banksy. Oh, this is no answer to your DP. Caution say, when if you build a hotel on the beach, you must just let it go make Jamaican walk through the beach and mingle with the tourists them. You tell me now. Which country we live in now?
So
tell me which country we live in now.
What they want is they want what happened in the 70s when Manley was the prime minister, where people feel say if you have two TV in your house, then you just walk in and take out what they want. That's what they want.
It's shocking. The man say if you go with the mad people, they mix up with the tourists. It's unbelievable, bro.
It is not shocking.
So get on a DP. If you realize that these people don't mean Jamaica no good. That's why I'm not in a debate with Pnp. They don't mean Jamaica no good. I don't mean no good. They no good. They don't mean Jamaica. This man know this brother from in my head a beach access or something. What's your here Magwan this evening? What's your here Magwan? What's your here in behavior upon the radio?
From the Jack I was about to say Jack. I know the company. Yeah.
Can you imagine here the man go on DP? What's here the man go on?
I heard the interview.
These people are not neutral. When all PNP them are all PNP. Them go in the fight the government.
Well, Alumba Samba told us what she did, She said in the 90s, what they did, they create, or 2000, they create they call them civil society group, but she made sure to pull them up with PNP.
DP, look at this DP. 18 and a half years under PNP and they never check the beach access law. They never look for change it. They didn't do nothing to it. You notice? They did not touch it. Look who is touching it now and they still have a problem. Look who is touching it. Look who is touching it now and they still have a problem. That make no sense?
Yep.
These people are clowns, man. These people are some bagaboo.
And interesting you mentioned that because it's still topical. It's the same thing. Manley started this wickedness against Cuba by having them come work for free, send the money to Cuba, and that was going on for another 40 years. And now because we have put a stop to that to say, no, this is inhumane. We cannot have people leaving your country, working 80 hours a week, and you have to turn to another person and beg them to lend you money to buy 2 mackerel to eat because Cuba didn't send. I need to find that template. Because Cuba don't send back the little bit where you did supposed to get. So because that we stop that now, them have a problem with that. Manly allow it. PJ allow it. So then can't tell me no
but
foolishness.
You should have never signed that contract from day one.
Okay.
You should never have signed that contract from day one.
That is the point I'm making.
You should never have signed that contract. You should never have signed that contract. You should never have done that to the people of Cuba. You should have never agreed with. It should never happen.
Yeah, man. I need to find that clip with Dr. Sam was explaining what the Cubans.
DP, so my brother down my back. So we want to hear what I'm bring him up, no man.
Yeah, they're not going to come up, man. They're not going to come up. You know them are coward.
Come up, man. Come talk after
him. I'm telling you, I'll be wasting my time to invite them. What I learned you have some of them that they have multiple accounts.
TikTok account.
Yes. So they can't come and talk because people would hear the voice and know that it's them. So let's listen to what Dr. Sam. Let's listen to what Dr. Sam shared with us about the Cubans.
It wasn't a work-related protest.
It wasn't a work-related issue.
in unison at Cornwall recently.
So Dr. Sam is breaking down the lies from Dr.
Concerns, the hurricane damage made by the first time doctors and nurses outside protesting.
Dr. Sam, was our health sector crumbling?
Absolutely not. When was nurses and doctors outside protesting?
When one nurse was attacked.
Okay.
And they were protesting that. So
yeah, but they were not. It wasn't a work-related protest.
It wasn't a work-related issue.
In unison at Cornwall recently, we have infrastructural concerns. The hurricane damaged a lot of the wards. We lost bed spaces. We are chronically understaffed.
Are we chronically understaffed?
You know, I think there needs to be a law in place that allow public officials to be held better accountable for the things that they say. There needs to be a law that will allow them to be held accountable, because not goes on.
Pulling 270 workers out of that public health sector. And
are the Cubans pulling 270 workers out of the health system?
Not all of them going back. I can tell you that for a fact.
All right.
Not just to say you're pulling workers where you can, as a ministry would have us believe, you just shift around some people and have other people do out some by just whether or not they speak good English. So it is a concern.
Let me be honest with you. When it comes to Dr. Dawes and anything, I'm not saying he's not qualified or whatever, but from the way he carried on about the drill, with all the misinformation about the drill for the babies, for the neurosurgery, I don't have much time for him. He cannot be so political that he can't speak the truth. This is the same man that said under his party's regime of use plastic bags as for personal protection. Right now we have so much PPEs, even at the hospital where I'm at, that you can actually take them and dash it.
Dr. Sam,
did you hear that, Mr. Ingram?
Hold on, Dr. Sam. Hold on. Continue. Hold on, Dr. Sam. Just play it a little bit. Go on.
Center, we're talking about the eye care program, right? That is dead and gone. We can't replicate that. We cannot. We don't have the level of staff.
Could you pause right there for me? No, when you talk about the eye care, let me talk about Cornwall, because that's where I did my my rotation. And we have several doctors there that are non-Cuban, who I see do some serious eye surgeries on a weekly or a monthly basis. And none of them are Cubans. So we still have good opticians, ophthalmologists all over the place out here, eye surgeons.
Efficiencies that are needed
Can I ask Dr. Question right here? Can I ask Dr. Question?
Yes, sir.
Sure, go ahead. You're saying with the, especially with the eye program, the eye care program, you're saying with the Cubans leaving on our system.
I did not say there will be none, but the way Dr. Dawes is saying it is like the system is going to crumble and crush. Right now, out of the 4 or 5 eye surgeons and stuff that we have at Cornwall, only one is Cuban.
Talk like a man.
When I did my rotation there, we have very credible eye surgeons.
What about in the major center in Kingston? Where is it? St. Joseph, I think?
We have a mixture of doctors all over the place. So what if a person's procedure may be pushed back maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months?
Yeah, the Cubans leave if the Cubans leave St. Joseph, you are saying the system will still continue, right?
The system will still continue. It may not be. It may take. It may go down slower for a while, but nobody, no Ministry of Health or no good Jamaican doctor or doctors is going to sit back and allow our healthcare to be run down to a point where people are not getting service. You know, one of the number one thing, a lot of persons may not know this, even if you don't have no money and you go to a family doctor, him have to look on you. Him can't make you leave your office worse than you came to his office. Even if you have no money, him have to do something for you, or at least try to get you to a hospital. Because the number one thing is do no harm.
No harm.
So if you come to me and my fee is hold on. If you come to me and my fee is $3,000 to see you, and you only have $300 or no money at all. I have to see you. You cannot leave my office worse than the way you came in.
Doctor, I want to thank you for that statement, but you know that I've got a few cases in Jamaica, and this has nothing to do with politics now, where the patient is there, and we hear some very sad story. Just a few months ago, a lady at the university, the young lady died, a 21-year-old died.
That happened everywhere. Chuck, please continue, because Dr. Sam has to go. Hold on.
Oh, yeah. I can finish up this part here.
Medicare program. So you're going to have Jamaicans who are going to go blind. Will have.
Yeah, that Dr. Sam is saying we are going to go blind.
Listen, I did my cataract surgery in Canada, and I was on a 6-month wait list to get my cataract surgery done in Canada. 6 months.
6 months. That's all like Jamaica time.
In Edmonton, 3 months ago, a 44-year-old guy went to Edmonton, major city in Alberta. Went in there with chest pain and high blood pressure. Supposed to be a first world country, and he ended up dying right in the emergency room. Peel Regional Hospital, where I used to live in Brampton. Brand new, one of the biggest, newest hospitals built in Canada. People sit down right in the ER and pass away. Because why? The system is overwhelmed. You don't want to go to Peel Regional Hospital on a Friday. It's like tonight, it's crazy because tonight is payday, a weekend, and the place full of young people. Overwhelmed with doctors. I took my daughter there one time, and I had to leave and go to another city in order to get some service for my daughter who had the whooping cough.
Accidents, crazy accidents, car accidents there. One of the craziest cities in the GTA right now. So it's overwhelmed with accidents as well.
Yeah, because these young East Indian guys, them parents have money, and a lot of them have money, and they buy these muscle cars.
They buy the fast cars then.
Yes, and we have the 8-lane highway.
When they see fast road, then just open up.
And them drive according to road condition.
So you see brother Ingram and Diego.
The tape is going somewhere.
Because it's taking longer to treat them. We're talking about glaucoma, diabetic, eye disease, cataracts. These are the top things that are being sorted out by the Cubans. But my greatest concern now is how are we going to manage cancer treatment? Because the oncology nurses and the radiation technologists at the St. Joseph's Cancer Treatment Center, a lot of them are Cubans, and I don't think that center can be run without them. Because
I talked to the chief surgeon because he is the surgeon on call there. He was the guy who taught me surgery. He is on call at St. Joseph. Yes, there are Cubans there, but there are lots of other people there. There may be temporary setback. But listen, Jamaican doctors are getting paid where we can draw from other areas too. Because St. Joseph Hospital is mostly a private hospital, St. Joseph is a private hospital. So they will draw and bring in their people. So he's talking about St. Joseph and a private hospital with the public, with doctors working under the public system. Let's deal with the public system. It's a private hospital. Those people who own it, cards owned by doctors, they will bring their people in and replenish their staff.
We don't have the staff to run it. And we don't have the staff to move from anywhere. And it may be, I know about St. Joseph, but it might be the same situation in Cornwall. And as a result of that, if you're not getting radiation for your cancer, then you have a worse outcome. We're talking about death.
That's doctor speak. For more people are gonna die. People
are going to die. That is the essence of it. You're talking about neonatology nurses. Those are we're talking about the ICU, the NICU babies, the babies who we keep having these outbreaks. And one of the main issues that we spoke about is lack of staffing in the neonatal ICUs. Well, the Cubans were the ones staffing.
and they're gone.
But if
So
we are having the
everybody is
outbreaks and they are there, what is he talking about?
But my question, Dr. Sam, is that is there any department across any hospital that is only staffed by Cubans?
Absolutely not.
Mr. Ingram, you hear that?
Absolutely not. So that's what and just to go back to Mr. Ingram when he was talking about it, one of the things that I wanted to answer him for. Let's say Mr. Ingram is a Cuban and he's my chief and he had to leave. There's persons below him who are able to step in and fill in. So even with losing persons, listen, we know that a lot of our young good up doctor, as you call them, because right now two of our top surgeons from Nipen, them just passed the US exam and now we know they're gonna get seriously good offers because these two boys are really, really good at what they do and they took the US exam and they pass it. And why? Because I mean, if you're gonna get 500,000 US a year to be a surgeon, you're not gonna get that in Jamaica, 500,000 US. So people are gonna look for greener pastures, but they have left very, very good other persons there who are surgeons. And I mean, again, I have to keep going back to what happened with the person that got damage in the heart. So we are not going to be left like we get thrown in the water and our arms are just flaying like we don't have no sense. No, people are gonna get taken care of. The doctors are gonna step up, and I guarantee you, a lot of what's going on here is just political talk. Some of these people not going anywhere. Some of them getting married. They're going to get their Jamaican papers and they're going to stay. Yes, so let's say we lose half of them. It will be replenished because we have persons going through the systems, young doctors. We can bring in other doctors. Just the other day, one of my colleagues from medical school, he just got a big promotion to go to Canada to do his undergrad thing. And he said as soon as he's finished, he's coming back as a gen surgeon because he don't want to stay in Canada. Man got scholarship.
There you go.
Dr. Sam.
Scholarship.
Dr. Sam.
Hold on, Ingram. Travis, I have a question. Hold on, Ingram. Make Travis answer and then you.
Dr. Sam, thanks for coming on firstly.
Yeah, man.
During the immediate aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, persons here would have been party to a conversation that was stating that bodies are piling up and people are crawling over bodies in the western area, specifically Westmoreland area. Being a person within the medical field, do you have any information? Had you heard any whispers within the medical fraternity where to shed light whether or not this is true?
Never got someone.
Appreciate you, sir. I said I had one question and I...
Oh my goodness. So I actually, Dr. Sam, big up yourself, because gone are the days when people would say, boy, me can't talk, fearful of saying the other side, because PMP was that powerful that if you talk the truth, they would find ways to silence you. So I'm happy that there are people brave enough who will come out and just speak the truth and shame the devil. So there's a clip, I think I didn't record that part, but Dr. Sam was saying they have like a house for the doctors in Mapin, and there are Cubans that share because it's not, he said that it's not roommates because they have separate rooms, but it's housemate. And they're asking sometime to borrow money so they can buy food to eat because the government or whosoever Cuban has send them the money. And Rowan is going to come and sit here and repeat the lies. Rowan at 2 hours and something a day here. I go through all of that already with the lie about Andrew give himself 300% raise and all of the foolishness. Soja, I was saying this on a live, on Carl's live today. Does it Carl or somebody else? You notice that PMP haven't come up with no new lies. They gone back to the campaign lies before September 3rd.
Yes.
So Andrew not taking the salary is a problem now. Even the old boss them, they still are put back on the table. So it goes to show that them, as I captioned my life tonight, it said PMP is dead. It seems like they don't even have a leader. They have to come out and repeating stuff where them hear vloggers saying like this, which is a lie, because history is there, recordings are there, that FINSAC did nothing good for the average man. The same poor people where PMP love talk about, PMP made those people poorer. And that is the fact.
DP, you hear me?
Yeah, man.
You hear me, DP?
Yes, sir.
You hear me?
Yes.
You hear me, I said to you, sir. After the election, I made a comment that PMP should go sleep until 2030. The rehibernate, that is what, because they're just putting themselves in a hole where they now can't motor.
You can't tell them
because
that.
Look at this, DP. DP, look at this, though. I'm going to ask you a question. When you go to university and achieve your degree, do you get your salary from your degree and give anyone else?
No.
Anybody? Did you ever see that ever happen?
No.
So why is it that a man to go to university, government must send him there and then him come out and just do what he want to do? But live up by a house up in a Jacksonville, live up there and nobody benefit. That makes sense?
Mm-mm.
If a student loan is there for you to take with no guarantors, that is the best path forward.
Yes.
Because you alone benefit from your degree.
Yes.
Nobody else not benefit from your degree, DP.
Exactly.
Your family are going to benefit from your degree in a DP. So if your family can't send you, then send you. Why they might push government fee, take up people responsibility, but we're not going to benefit from? DP,
So-
you know, so when a man go to the degree and feed nobody else.
You saw Ron in the comment earlier. He's in full support of the wickedness being done to the Cubans, because as according to him, the Cubans train their people for free. So maybe we should start doing that, you know. Andrew should set up a thing now and say, yeah, man, make we send all who want to go to university for free, and then you just work for us. You cannot work for yourself.
No.
You work for us.
No DP.
Or more so, we'll send you go to some poorer places like Haiti, and you work for us, and we control the money for the rest of your life. So we're going to school you for free and own you for the rest of your life. Ron, you hear the rubbish that you just put out there?
Stop playing, man. Waste time, man.
You know, easy now. You didn't tell myself to send him invite, and me tell us, say, neither got accept it. But we're in.
Before you miss me, DP. Well, on DP, before you miss me. So, the other day, the digital platform that we're talking about, which the expert, because it's before me come on the talk show, I go to the experts. The experts say it's going to take time to implement.
Of course.
It's not something that you just buy like what Shaka Fame say, you just buy a software.
Just buy it, man. Just buy the program. You out there, just buy it.
No. The expert said nothing like that. He said it cannot work like that. Not something you just because you have to test it over and over, you have to test run, you have to do this, you have to do that.
But tell me now,
over
brother,
and over.
such a program as something that you just make, I like one car, so then just make you have it sit down and I wait for Jamaica to come buy the program.
No, sir.
To people not even have
So,
a certificate in cleaning garbage.
So that is what DP. When I debate, I try to listen to the experts first.
Yes.
And then I come on and say,
That is a
because
good-
that's why I never go school for that.
That is a good method.
I never go school for that. So whatever topic I come and debate, I listen to the expert first.
Yes.
What are they saying?
I told somebody that the
So
other
it's
day,
like
even when
when-
you're sharing your opinion, Solji, it must be grounded in something.
Yes.
You
It
know,
must
just
be,
come
because
with me
look at
mouth
it this other day.
and like a Master Jam say
this
here's
is the other
every
day when-
political
after the-
every political that was by party want to get in government. However, the PMP as history showed that they make financial political decision over sound economic policies. Yeah, man, we know I PMP them that.
Yes,
Run with
all
it.
the time, all
We
the
not
time.
we not figure
All the
run with
time.
it. I have
All
an
the time.
election to run. Omar Davis. So in the business
All the time
with prudence, economical no, run with it. And that is something, Soji, I say I commend Andrew for, because knowing that the Prime Minister wanted a third term, him could have do the run with it and just say, yeah, what?
Oh, you mean
Let me just fling out money
you
and
mean?
man for be sure up. We did not see that.
I know what I did. What I did after hurricane. That me I tell you, I know what I do with them night grum.
That is how I
When he did
started
that.
my
When he
show,
did that
Cliff
when I
Hughes.
grown.
Say, listen, Jamaica is blessed to have an Andrew Ownless right now, because PMP have shown us Mark went to cabinet with 2 bottles of waters and say water is more expensive than gas in Jamaica. So I think he's one of the big time water from, this is at Mountain Valley Spring Water, and I buy this people and give one of my customer give me this. I mean know it expensive.
Well, DP.
1871.
DP.
Yes, sir.
DP, listen to me. I want you to take that same buckle. You can drink that buckle of water and last you for the day. I want you to use that same buckle of gas and throw in your car as if you move away there.
No, I got try drink it. Since it's cheap.
No,
I got drink it. I got fully buy a gas and fully and drink it.
Hey, listen to me, DP. These people crazy.
Caution, what go on? You're good?
But DP, I was telling you. I was saying this, DP. I was saying this. After the budget debate with Andrew Honus, you know what I did? I didn't come on any live. I run to Nationwide because I know they will have some panelists.
Yes.
Some experts there. Yes. You know. And
well, not all the time, because McLean is not no expert. Go ahead.
No, I know. When I hear
Light B, yes, I'm going to get that video tonight before I fall asleep. Yeah, man.
Yes. And he said, man get left, right, and center.
And campaigning.
You know, him say he's a political novice. Him said though he's not a politician. He's a legislator.
Yeah, man.
He's not a politician. And that him said. Exactly that him said. So for sure, so me listen to them and hear them speak and I say, listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, man. So you have to hear, as you say, where you say must be grounded in some truth.
Yes,
because
man.
you know, sense,
because you can't hear something. You can't hear something,
going.
man. Even at the professional you hear it from and still get it wrong, you know. Or your understanding is XYZ. But it's supposed to be coming from somewhere, and not just because you have an opinion. Oh, my opinion is, and then stating your opinion as fact. No, it don't make sense.
Caution say if he make it tourist and Jamaican and Ningo. When they harass them.
Make him what?
Make it Jamaican and the tourist them Ningo.
Oh,
make
yeah.
Just Lego Beach, make it Jamaican and going when the tourist them.
Yeah, man, we make anybody walk off of the street to and not even register, get an armband for the day and just walk up and down in the hotel and go sit down and yam food and go in the people in a room and yeah. Yeah, communist way of thinking. Yep. Anyway, Soji, I gotta play that keeper and run. So later, brother. But thanks for reminding me of Light B. Smith because Friday evening thing. I'm going to cut it off because
I'm going to do research in Black Wall Street.
When I hear a Light B. Smith saying, no man, Mark should have stuck with whatever, but when in good on certain road, it sound like a launch. Speaking of that, you know I keep on hearing political ads saying this message is brought to you by the People's National Party. A campaign is still a campaign, Soji?
Yes. Yeah, man.
Yeah. This is brought to you by the People's. I mean, I said, well, we still are. But anyways, later, brother. Take care.
Let's have yourself. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yes, thanks for that reminder. Let's hear this. I was listening to the news the other morning and on RJR, and I didn't get a chance to record it because PMP them afraid of me. I hear extreme up in the middle saying,
to the national budget. Mr. Williams says, while some good suggestions were made by the opposition leader, he doesn't believe they will be considered.
Yeah. So what
some good suggestions were made by the opposition leader, but the budget is already cast. So even if there's some great suggestions, because the budget is cast,
RGR,
then the likelihood of changing anything is remote. So unless we have a genuine exercise where people can contribute to the development of the national budget rather than a point-scoring critique of the budget. The other thing is that are we commenting on national more medium?
Attorney at law and political commentator Clyde Williams says there is a need to change the structure of the budget debate.
They hate that with a passion. And they will tell you, no, me know you look up nothing, me know your thing, whatever. So let's just listen to what Clyde had to say about Mark Golden. And I find this very interesting.
Attorney at law and political commentator Clyde Williams says there is a need to change the structure of the budget debate. He says there's a need to have an exercise where people can contribute to the national budget. Mr. Williams says while some good suggestions were made by the opposition leader, he doesn't believe they will be considered.
Some good suggestions were made by the opposition leader, but the budget is already cast. So even if there are some great suggestions, because the budget is cast, then the likelihood of changing anything is remote. So unless we have a genuine exercise where people can contribute to the development of the national budget rather than a point scoring critique of the budget. The other thing is that are we commenting on national, more medium-term proposals? Are the comments limited just to this fiscal year coming? So there's always that, because some aspects of the presentation is a little bit more medium-term, some aspects. So I really have a problem with the structure. I don't think it serves a useful purpose. I think we need to get rid of it.
Attorney at law and political commentator Clyde Williams. He was speaking yesterday on...
The man say, get rid of the current... And there are other people making some ridiculous calls. I hear that people saying the fact that the prime minister get to talk after the opposition. I think Tyrone come with that foolishness too, It's a disadvantage to the opposition because the prime minister get to talk after. I hear one of the let me say novice and not dunce was saying that the prime minister have access to the finances and whatever, which you can't go find out whatever you want to find out. Nothing about the economy or the finances of the country. It's not a secret. But again, that's PNP. So they want to change it up now. But what Clyde was saying, I don't want it to miss you guys. What he was saying is that he's basically disappointed in Mark Golden. He even mentioned, and I hear PNP tried to do this, the speech, the budget presentation is likened to State of the Nation, or the Union, State of the Union that the President of America does. So, not because it is the 2026-2027 budget, that doesn't mean things that are mentioned can only be implemented in. In fact, Light B. Smith was saying that what he got from the Prime Minister was him actually laying the groundwork, because some of the things that were mentioned wasn't just a 4-year, 3-year project. Maybe some of these don't even get started. If they get started in this thing, maybe till the 4th year, maybe the exact 5th year. You know what I mean? So it's futuristic, the presentation about the future. Clyde is saying that he does not like that. Because, and again, he was critiquing Mark Golden's speech to say some of even the suggestion from Mark sound like a mid whatever to long-term plan. But PNP is cussing and say Andrew did that. But again, when PNP says something, as Papa Nana always say, PNP ears don't hear what their mouth say. And even Caution, when me yell up a while ago, when I put certain things to them, his response or rebut has been, you hear nobody from the hierarchy of the party, so that's another nonsense. So that's why Mr. Shaka Fame supposed to feel proud, because he's now hearing Mark Golden repeating some of the nonsense that him, Shaka Fame, have been saying for years. Something like FINSAC wasn't a problem. FINSAC was the solution to a problem. In fact, like they're saying it was a good thing. You know what I say? So that's where it's at. We know, going out with what Chuck say, you cannot convince a fly that honey tastes better than shit. Because flies, they know what they get from waste. You know what I'm saying? So, me not try change no PNP mind. Me can't change Caution mind. Me can't change Rowan. See, Rowan come to the show late because I went through the whole lie. And go find the tape, Rowan, when Mark Golden addressed the salary thing in the debate. He stated that Andrew Onless, which was a lie, that part of it. Andrew Oles gave himself and his cabinet 230% increase, not 300 like you just stated earlier. So that is it. Let me say thank you very much for joining me this evening. And I hear what Empress call him excellent drunkro of Jamaica. Call out my government the other day upon a live, and it sounded like he won $1 million. Yes, my name is Damian Phillips. I've been saying this for years. So if you know my government, that is no secret. If you're following me on YouTube and Facebook, you'll see my name there. So yes, excellent drunkro. You knowing my name, I was never in hiding at any point. I am not living in America illegal. Understand? So feel good because you have this comfort of nobody knows who you are. So that's one of the reasons you go around and disrespect people. That's all right. Caution the same thing too. You know, them say anything come to them out because you'll never see them open the camera, as they say, on TikTok and show their faces because, yeah, they're living in fear. So I don't know why people give these people so much attention. A bunch of cowards who they have the most talk, they know everything, but they cannot do a live and show their faces. And, you know, some of them, they're very disrespectful and all of that. But you must know why you can't show no face. Yeah, but I'm not hiding from nobody. With that being said, let me say thank you very much for those of you who have spent your evening with me. I like the numbers I was seeing on both TikTok and on YouTube. It can only get better, people, if you don't decide to help me by sharing, liking, commenting, tapping up the screen for TikTok, and just click like on YouTube. So again, I should have said this when the numbers did the way up, but it's not too late. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I'm trying to get 3,000 for my birthday, which is the ending of next month. So now help me. One cocoa full basket, like Miss Lou say. So nobody watch and I say, me not make no sense, me subscribe guys now go help. No, if I have 100 people and you're saying that, then it now go, me now get 100 more subscribers. And everything now is by numbers. You understand? So even for TikTok, that is why we ask you people to tap up a screen, because the more taps, which is free, if you don't want to send no roses and no donut and no nothing else, taps are free. And that helped to send out the video on TikTok. Same thing for YouTube. The more likes I get, the more you guys share the video. It helps. All right? So please, I'm begging you. Can't believe I'm doing this. But if you're watching on TikTok and you haven't followed me yet, please follow, like the video, share. And same thing for YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please like the video. It helps. Just a simple like and share. Tell somebody that you found something that you enjoy every Monday evening. You come over here, so bring them. All right, that's it. If I fall asleep, I'm gonna go live on or continue on TikTok, but maybe not because I'm kind of tired. But that is it for this evening. I'll be back here next week, Monday, if it's the will of the Father, to do it all over again. The name, excellent drunkard, is Damian Phillips. Yes, not hiding from anybody. Thanks, guys. See you next week.
You get with it. So if you see a girl, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see a girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way. Politics, it doesn't matter, me I got talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the corner me I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. So if you see your girl's phone and it's my name DP, don't feel no way, or just a habit. politics, politics. It doesn't matter, me I go talk. Bringing light to the lost so you will get it. DP is my name, please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Yeah, views expressed. You know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. VP is my name. Please don't spoil it. Big up Portland, St. Thomas, Jamaica and America. Come listen my show. On the economy I bring, come chat. Voice your concerns. As I share everything, just know it's a general knowledge. Just know it's a general knowledge. Views expressed, you know the rest. Come chat with DP. Call me Damian Phillips. Whoa, ooh yeah, Phillips. Call me Damian Phillips. Yeah. Yeah, DP stands for Damian Phillips. All who never knew get with it. So if you see your girl